us. This is where the establishment wants us. This is where Satan wants us. He wants us to think the problem can be solved if we just do this or that to this group, this section of the population. Okay, it's not going to work that way. Okay, and the bigger point I was making about the immigration, what's behind that is this is, believe me, I know enough about economics to know, and Donald Trump does too, and that's what's so befuddling, is that he's got to know. He's got to know that having all these people here puts an unnatural, artificial demand on everything, okay? Everything. That includes all the commodities, all consumer goods. That includes all the services. That includes all the agencies out there, all the public service agencies, the welfare agencies. Remember, people are employed in those jobs, and they're catering to illegal immigrants. Let me tell you, I had my 4-year California real estate license, and I understand. I learned a lot about the law, okay? And you try to discriminate against an immigrant, okay, when it comes to selling property and illegal, it doesn't matter, okay? Then you will probably lose your license, you'll be reprimanded, you'll be suspended, something bad will happen to you. This is what's coming across the nation, whether Donald Trump is elected or not. And what he thinks he can do with his executive powers, and what's really he can do is a whole nother thing. So let me tell you that it's not going to be that easy. And I've got nothing to lose. I'm a self-employed landscape gardener, and I've never seen work so soft. So believe me, I'm feeling the effects of mass migration as well. So you understand, there's no benefit to me. I'm just saying this as a brother, as a fellow American, as a fellow human being, as a caring, loving brother. That's all I'm doing it as, okay? And all I'm saying is everything can be done gently if we understand the problem, if we can attack the causers, the perpetrators of the problems we have, all the problems, the dubious war, the crime, the poverty, okay? All the problems that we have as a society are solvable through one thing and one thing only. And we're talking about the debt. The debt. This is the elephant in the room, isn't it? Okay, this is the evil, rampaging elephant in the room, is the debt. Okay, this is the big one. And nobody's talking about it. We're not going to confront it. It's just like the wheels are coming off your cars. Your wheel bearings are shot. You don't listen to all the advice. Everybody's telling you, look, if you don't get your wheel bearings fixed, your wheels are going to come off. And that's what's going on. And the mainstream media says, oh, well, let the wheels come off. We're just going to ride this car down the highway till the wheels come off. And, that's what's going to happen with the debt. That is the big, big elephant in the room, okay? And it's not being confronted. They're just going to let the whole thing just fall apart. And what's going to happen if it just doesn't get better for the poor? Everything always gets worse for the poor. But what you get, inevitably you're going to have people just homesteading. You're going to have Hoovervilles. People are just going to take over land. Like I was talking about in an earlier video about this adverse possession. More and more people are going to get a hostile, negative attitude. They're saying, damn it, I've got my house stolen. I'm going to get a couple of big dogs and a bunch of big guns, and I'm going out in the hills, and I'm going to hire a surveyor. I'm going to plot out some land. I'm going to start paying taxes on it, and I'm taking this land. I don't care if it's public or private, but damn it, I'm taking this land. You know what I mean? This is what we're going to see more and more of, that spirit, because we're Americans. We're the people of the Wild West. We're not going to roll over and just allow your social Darwinian program to kick in where we've got people dying out in the streets like a third world country. We're not going to have that. We are the land of milk and honey. Okay, make America great again makes a lot of sense to me. But what it means to you, what it means to me may be different things. But really what it means to me is a time when everybody had dignity. When if you had any job at all, you could afford to be a homeowner, okay? Where people's currency was worth something. Where a nickel was worth something. A penny was worth something. That's what can be done. That's what I'm talking about when I say getting to the meat of the matter and the root of the problem. It's in the currency. If we, the people, don't gain control of the money printing press, and people aren't looking at it, they're not looking at it, which represents the debt, okay, these Federal Reservists, okay, all these are the money printing class I'm talking about. They represent all the dubious war. They're financing it, right? They represent all the debt while they walk around with all the loot, so they're impoverishing us to what? The nth generation. Nobody's got a plan in sight. The wheels are going to come off. No telling how long they could stay on. Might stay on 1,000,000 miles. If they get their way, that's what it'll be. It'll be in perpetuity. We'll have that debt. The prison, the crime, people feeling, they might get carjacked. You've got all the violence, the homicides in the hood, all these problems they are causing. And we've got to get to the root. We've got to seize the Federal Reserve, and we've got to nationalize our currency so it works for we the people. And gradually, slowly, gently, painlessly, we see a rising tide of prosperity lifting all ships. As you see your cost of living diminish, you see the worth of your currency going up. That's how it happens. That's how prosperity for all happens. I don't prescribe to the prosperity gospel, this idea. Just go out and get what's yours, man. It's dog eat dog. That's that whole social Darwinian principle. That's that philosophy that people are, they're just going along. They're saying, you know what? This is the only way. I know it's really bad. I know that they want us poor. I get the Cloward and Piven strategy. They'd like us all on welfare and dependent on the George Soros and Rockefeller and Rothschild and Clinton and Bush and all these class of people and their ilk, okay? The Bilderbergers and the New World Order cabal, the globalists, all these elitists, okay, these classists that want to sit at the top of the pyramid, don't give a crap about humanity. They're the kinds that draw up the Georgia Guidestones, where they think that they're holier than thou, very important people, and we need them. The earth needs them. So, you need the earth, so that you need them, and they need to get rid of 90% of the population. And they're the altruistic, benevolent ones. They're the good guys, right? That's in their minds. That's in their sick and twisted minds. They're the good guys. And this is how they rationalize it. But understand what their agenda is and why they want you poor. Why this gives them power. Okay? This is the only way they can remain relevant. This is the main ingredient. This is the most important facet, the greatest component they have to staying in control and staying relevant. They've got to maintain control of the money printing presses. And if you're just going to ignore that, you're just going to bear everybody out there I'm talking to. I'm not. I'm not. I'm big mouth. I'm talking about it all the time. I'm saying, no, you've got to get to the root of the problem. As long as they can continue to diminish the worth of your currency through debt maintenance, okay, and just keep kicking the can down the road, things will get worse and worse and worse. Your taxes are going to go up. This is it, under the guise of, you got a debt, you got to pay the maintenance, right? And then you need extra because there keeps being more and more needy people as they keep stealing the wealth of our nation. So we need to pour more money into the social welfare programs, exacerbating the problems, paying guys like Rich Dad all over the country, okay, to subsidize the industry and just making it worse. We don't want to fix the problem. You say, well, I'm a bleeding heart liberal. I want to fix the problem. I say, buy people houses. At least you're done and done. You wash your hands with the problem. And people say, oh, well, that's liberal. Oh, so you'd rather be illogical, okay, so that you can be self-prideful. I mean, to me, that's what it equates to. That you can't admit that you're wrong and say, yes, it makes a lot more sense to just give stuff to people, okay, than to keep paying forever and ever and more and more. Remember, it's not just a fixed amount you're paying, but more and more as your currency is debased through the cost of living going up, you're going to have to pay more and more. So, of course, your taxes got to go up. Sales taxes are always going up. Always running, we're just going to raise it half a cent, or we're going to raise a penny, or here and there. But remember, it's incremental. This is the frog in the pot of water analogy. And it's very apropos. And we've all got to get it. We've got to say, I get it now. Now let's talk about seizing control of the Federal Reserve Bank. Okay, this is what JFK was doing. He was abolishing the Federal Reserve with Executive Order 11,110. The mainstream media won't say a damn thing about that and why it's not in effect anymore, why they don't discuss it, why did it disappear, whatever happened to silver certificates, silver notes that Kennedy was supplanting the Federal Reserve notes with. Whatever happened to these things? Okay, we're not talking about the fact that we had a coup, a very serious coup, back on November of 1963, was it? You know, if I got the date right, and when Kennedy was assassinated. That's what that was. They said, we're not having this. This is great satanic power. Yeah, we don't mind blowing the brains out of a beloved president of the United States. We'll do whatever it takes. Remember, we're the bratty little kids in the candy store, and we're going to get our way, and this is how we're going to do it. And then if we get high-level law enforcement, like, you know, the director of the FBI, you know, shrinking away and, you know, cowarding out from prosecuting these people, what do we have? Of course we've got corruption. People are afraid. They don't want to get Arkansided. I mean, here we got the Clintons, right? And now there's a new word added to Webster's dictionary, Arkanside, right? I don't know if it's in Webster's yet, but you can certainly find it. If you look up the term Arkanside, you'll find out what it's all about. This is how these people roll. There's not a woman, you know, 1/10 way liberated woman on the face of this earth that would stay with a man like Bill Clinton. Okay, that one woman after another has said that he has forced himself on them. Okay, there's nobody, not one woman in the world. Okay, the only reason she's hung on to this marriage is for political advantage. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. It's as clear as the day is long. So, I mean, all you women, you can say, well, I'm voting for it because it's, you know, historical, it's a woman and all this. Hey, that's fine. Whatever, you know, just so that you can stand one-on-one before God someday and answer for your belief system. Okay, because, you know, and my belief system, you know, it's a two-way street. You know, I got to answer for my belief system. You know, I'm not going to defend. I'm probably as hard on guys like Donald Trump and Alex Jones as anybody. I am, because I don't pull any punches. I, as a friend, I feel like it's my obligation. It's called constructive criticism. Isn't that what a teacher offers you? Isn't that what a parent offers you? Okay. And then later you thank them, even though it's an assault to your ego and your pride, your false pride, and all this kind of crap. Okay, but in the long run, you benefit from it. And you say, this guy's right. Satan's got me looking over here, but over here is the big, and you know, the big elephant in the room. And that's the advice I'm giving people. I'm saying, look at it. Look at the things I'm saying. Understand that we're not going to see changes in America unless we gain control over the money printing function. And because this has to do with all the digital stuff too, this has to do with all the lending. Oh, China agrees to back your loan. Okay, here, we're going to print you a few trillion more. And this is how it works. And they're just kicking the can. Okay, I know how it works. It's very simple to understand. It's very simple to understand how that bailout worked and why that was so bad. So very bad. These people are criminals. They acted in a criminal manner. And all these politicians that went along with it, okay, they know what side their bread is buttered on. They deferred power and authority to their money printing masters because they know that these are the people that write their paychecks. And they know if they rub them the wrong way, not only can they lose their jobs, they can lose their lives. Okay, that's the way it works. And how do you think? How's that going to work when people are losing their lives because they're standing up against the evil? Okay, because of the way these politicians, whom we the people hire, we are actually the ones paying their paychecks, isn't it? Isn't it the taxes that are supposed to be paying that? But the truth is, we all know we don't need the taxpayers. That's all just for show, because they just print as much as they want anyhow. They just put us in more and more debt. So that's just a big show. And all the people that are paying their taxes, like myself, okay, so I say it's a two-way street, but I have to admit my complicity. And everybody else does too, my compliance. And we've got to say no. We've got to say, look, no taxation without representation. And this is how I need you to represent me. I need you to stand up against the money printing operation, okay, and all the people that are colluding. And all these murderers out there, and how and let's find out how these people got the name of how they coined this term Arkanside, what this means, okay? What's happening to their adversaries? How come they're dying mysteriously? People say it's a robbery, but the guy's got his wallet and keys on him. Okay, this sort of thing's been going on and on and on. Okay, so we need to ask these very serious questions, and law enforcement needs to get involved. And the local police, I mean, their ears are starting to perk up more and more. They're getting targeted. It's like people are blaming the cops. It's not their fault. They're not right